So, we don't really have the most exciting video.
You're not going to intro it?
Welcome back to Matthew and Haley after I don't know how long it's
4
been.
months.
It's been a while. So we could basically tell you guys a lot of excuses for why we haven't been uploading, but we're not about that. There's lots of reasons why it's been so long, but we felt kind of compelled to share at least, one big thing that has gone on in our life, and it's been a while now, so we're kind of used to it. As of right now.
It's been a while. We don't want this video to be boring, so we're probably just going to get right into it. This isn't going to be like a super happy video, but it's something that we wanted to share with you guys. For me, it's a major thing that happened to us around the end of August. So if you guys have seen our videos, you probably know that we have a dog named Toby. He's been in some of our videos. Super cute.
Basically, I got him. What year did I get him? What year did we get him?
We got him. It was like 2018 at some point. Because he was like a puppy and he was in our videos. At the time, we were with our siblings. We were golfing, and Matthew got a call. I didn't know who it was from or what it was about or anything. But I heard him saying, like, is he okay? And something about foaming at the mouth or something. So I figured out that it was Toby. So I started freaking out, thinking there's something wrong with him. Like, is he going to die? Like, I don't know. So I was trying so hard not to cry and just waiting for him to get off the phone to tell me what happened.
She called me and said that she thought he was having a seizure. So we weren't really sure what was going on. So we went back to my mom's house.
I think we were just waiting to see if anything happened again, because we had no idea what really happened. And then I think he had another seizure, and so I was like, yeah, he definitely needs to go to the vet. We need to find out what's wrong with him. So there's some dogs that can get epilepsy, and they don't really know the cause of it, and apparently Gordon setters are very prone to getting epilepsy. That's basically what the vet said. They're not 100% sure that it is that, but based off of their tests and everything, that was the best possible answer that they could give. And so we just kind of assumed that that's what he had.
From there, we got medication for him and everything seemed to be going fine for a while. And then about maybe a month later, he started seizing again.
My sister, she's a vet tech, so I was asking her questions constantly about him, like, what do we need to do? What's wrong with him? All of these things. And, she was just doing her best to tell me, but whenever you have a dog that is having a seizure or has epilepsy, there's not a whole lot you can do to help them.
From this, I researched a lot about epilepsy. I wasn't familiar with it too much, and then I found that a lot of people have epilepsy, and I've really realized what it's like for a person to have epilepsy, and I've watched videos and everything. It was kind of dramatic, but...
He had a few seizures, and we weren't there at the time, but there were times that he would have a seizure, and I saw it, and it's just sad because there's nothing you can do to help them while it's happening. You have to wait it out. The vet had given us medication to give him twice a day, and it was supposed to basically keep his seizures under control to where he wasn't supposed to be having seizures, because there's no cure for epilepsy, but you can live with it and it not be so bad. So that's what the medicine was supposed to do. Even though we gave him the medicine like we were supposed to, he was still continuing to have seizures quite often. It started off not so bad, but the longer it went, the more often it got, and it wasn't working.
He would have, cluster seizures, and we were instructed to not touch him or anything like that whenever he's in one, because he can get violent with you, or something. We were told to record it whenever he did have one, so that way the vet could give us more insight or find out further information from it. For those of you that might think it's kind of morbid for me to record it and not do anything, that's exactly what I was told to do by the vet. We were debating whether or not to really even share the clips with you guys, but it's, kind of more for educational reasons, and if, I didn't even know anything about it, really. Yeah. Until this, it makes me have huge empathy towards family members and the people that have it.
So basically we found out that he would have to be on medication for the rest of his life to keep his seizures under control. So we just kind of thought that's what we're gonna have to do. Well, one night I was there and his mom yelled upstairs that he was having a seizure. So I went down there, and basically what you think you would see when you hear seizure. He was shaking. Sometimes he would get this his jaw would like lock up and his mouth would be like stuck open. He sometimes would have them worse than others. So there was this one time I was in the bathroom and it was like a good distance from me. He started having a seizure. He basically like shimmied all the way over to where I was. He had like peed all over the floor because sometimes that happens. Sometimes they pee, sometimes they poop because they can't control what they're doing. It was just so sad to see because like I said earlier, like there was nothing that I could do to help him. Every single time I saw it, which was only a few times, like I just had to close my eyes. It was not something that I could look at.
So one night he started having them. He was having cluster seizures. It was like in the middle of the night. He ended up not really recovering from it, and he couldn't ever get out of the cycle. Whenever it would seem like he was getting out of one, he wasn't really out of it, I guess. He wouldn't know any commands. He would walk straight into walls. Sometimes he would go from that not knowing stage to dropping into another seizure. It got to the point where he was constantly in seizures, and he would get out of one for a little bit and then just continue in. He didn't really know anything, so I think he was kind of in one the whole time. He wasn't him. By morning, he couldn't walk. His limbs wouldn't work, so I would try to pick him up. He wasn't able to keep himself up, so I kept trying with him. Eventually, he was really shaky, but he was able to kind of stand up a little bit. He would trip and fall on the way, and I would try and help him. I got to the point where I could talk him out of the seizure. I would be very calm, and I'd be like, okay, Toby, you got this. You're good. And it really worked. Like, I didn't, he would start to do it. He would knock out of it. I was in contact with the vet this entire process.
By this point, I was getting ready for work. I get a call from Matthew, and he's basically telling me that they're gonna have to go to the vet and put him down. So at that point, he like put the phone up to Toby, and I could hear him like whining and stuff. And I basically just told him like, I love you, it's gonna be over soon, you're gonna be okay, and stuff like that.
We drove him to the vet. For that one little bit on the way there, he just rested his head on my lap and just looked at me with the most pitiful eyes, and it seemed like he was almost saying goodbye, and I know that's not the case, but he just looked at me, and it was like almost a moment of peace with me and him on the way there. After that moment was over, he started up again, and so by the time we arrived, he was in another one, and so we had to wait a little bit before they could help get him out, and of course the whole virus thing was going on, so you have to wait in your car or whatever. We took him in, and then said my final goodbyes.